So although this MA MFA programme is essentially run through Trinity Laban, the two key modules, embodied practice and investigative practice, are held at Siobhan Davies Dance Studios and are delivered by Independent Dance. So Independent Dance and Siobhan Davies Dance are two sister organisations that inhabit a building in Elephant and Castle. And this building is a site for professional artist development. Through SDD, there's a lot of producing artists' work and platforming artists' work. And through ID, there's a year-long programme of classes, labs, workshops, talks and exchanges. So for these 5-week modules, the morning sessions for 4 of those weeks are held in conjunction with the ID morning class for professionals. So in a sense, the students are really integrated with this professional network of people who are, interested in embodied experimental movement practices. So in a sense, for the whole time, the students inhabit the large studio in the building, so they're kind of artists in residence, and they're sort of embedded in the activities and the events that happen alongside them. They're very much welcomed by the staff, and they have use of video and printing and other projection facilities. For both of the core modules, the lead tutor artists are selected from the network of artists that ID is connected with. For embodied practice, there tends to be 5 or 6 artist tutors, and there's one for each week. And they tend to be practitioners of a lot of experience in particular somatic practices. So these can include Skinner releasing technique, Feldenkrais, or experiential anatomy. And some of the names that we have in the pool include people like Eva Karjak, Miranda Tufnell, Gabby Agis, Charlie Morrissey. So what these practitioners would do would be lead quite body-based practical sessions, but they would also work a lot at bridging these sessions with theory and embodied philosophies. This then would enable students to develop their own approach to their own research, answering their own kinds of questions. So some of the examples may be that a student may be looking at their improvisation practice and looking at what the relationship between intention and attention is, as an example. In investigative practice, it's slightly different. The students work with a single artist, and they tend to be a choreographer of significant international reputation. And these in the past have been people like Siobhan Davies, Rosemary Butcher, Rosemary Lee. The recent artist was Florence Peake, whose work is very interconnected with visual arts. And the students will then encounter the methods and approaches of this artist, and through that encounter they will then develop their own investigative, interrogative practice. In terms of career paths, many of the students will go on to become freelance makers or performers, or perform in their own work. Many of them may enter roles in arts management, or they may develop their own teaching practices. And some of them go off and do further study or research at PhD level. A lot of the alumni tend to maintain a connection within Independent Dance and Siobhan Davies Dance, and we really cultivate that connection.